from the Senior Vice President of Corporate Marketing and Communications at Adobe, Ann Lewnes, who is here to tell us a bit about what she's done to launch a product entirely digitally, which is only apt given the product. So please join me in welcoming Ann to the stage.
Good morning, everyone. I am here to talk to you about the new way to market, which is to digitize, socialize, and optimize. So 20 years ago, almost to the day, on May 22nd, 1990, I was in this very room for probably what was the biggest marketing event, I would say, of that decade. And that was the launch of Microsoft's Windows 3.0. So does he not look like he's 15 years old here? But that's an actual photo. And this was like a mega event. The room was full like it is today. There were customers, there were partners, there was press. And this thing was broadcast by satellite to 8 different locations, which was like state of the art at the time. So 20 years forward, here we are, and obviously the marketing landscape has changed significantly since then. But I would argue that it hasn't changed maybe as much as it should. So Forrester recently reported that companies who have revenue about $250 million and over only spend 13 to 18% of their marketing dollars on digital. At Adobe, we spend 74%, which is a huge number, and that kind of makes sense because we make digital software, we make web design software, we're responsible for Flash technology, which has been getting a lot of publicity lately. And so you'd think we would do that, but the reason we're doing it is not just to be in vogue. The reason we're doing it is because it has significant impact in engagement. John was talking about that earlier, in terms of interacting with your customers, connecting with your customers. And today, the amount of data that you can get on your customers and the amount of optimization that you can get so that you actually relate and serve up more relevant content to your customers is unprecedented. So that's the reason that we're really investing so heavily. So we decided 3 years ago, we did an event much like this in a venue downtown to launch our Creative Suite 3 product. And we had a lovely event and lots of people came, but at the end of that event there was something missing for me. And I said, you know what, we only can do this in one location. Maybe we did it in one other location in Europe, but we were missing out on all the people that we know love our products and weren't able to really engage through that process. So this year, on April 12th, we decided to do it totally differently. 2 weeks before the launch of the product, we started blogging and sending out emails to our customers, and we posted a digital counter on our website, and we get a lot of traffic. We get 300 million unique visitors per month, so there are tons of people coming. And we said, come on April 12th to our CS5 launch event, pre-register. So we didn't know how many people would pre-register, but 220,000 people pre-registered. They gave us all their information so that they could come to that event. On the actual day of the event, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, we opened the doors, basically. We had 5 segments that were pre-recorded, so there was no live event at all. 5 pre-recorded segments, and then we produced a ton of kind of ancillary content, tips and tricks, and our products are not completely easy to use, so lots of help with the products, customer testimonials, and over the next few days, 664,000 people watched that launch event, and 3 million people watched those videos, and this was in 221 countries. So our ability to increase our reach was kind of unbelievable. Following up on that, we talked a little bit about social earlier, and what's really interesting is 3 years ago at this event that we had in New York, we were not doing any social. And I would say up until probably a year ago, we were not doing it in any big way. And so for this launch, we did all the kind of traditional social stuff. We did, obviously, a Facebook page, and we had 1 million followers over probably a couple of weeks. We tweeted. In fact, you could tweet in the actual launch experience, and we had 37,000 tweets in 30 minutes, which is more than we probably get every day. And then we had a lot of unique blog postings. So I would say that's kind of, baseline what we should be doing for a launch of this sort. But then we wanted to do some new stuff. So we did a YouTube video, and you're like, what? That is not new. But for us, the new part of it was we decided to sneak peek a feature. So our products include Photoshop, Flash, etc. Photoshop is a very, very popular product, and there is a very cool feature in there called Content Aware Fill. Now, our engineers and product guys, they love this feature. They said, this is going to be huge. And so we said, OK, well, let's do a little video, and we'll post it on YouTube, and we'll see if anybody watches it. We blogged a little bit about it. So we thought maybe tens of thousands of creative professionals or photographers would check this thing out. 3.2 million views of this video within a week. So a lot of publicity for this feature. And while that's cool, the coolest thing about it is actually that it confirmed our suspicion that this thing is really a great feature and that we should be marketing it as one of the key features of Photoshop. So this actually informed our marketing of this product going forward. In addition to that, John talked a little bit about location-based services. We are trying to do as much experimentation about new marketing methods. We partnered with Gowalla, which is a location-based service, and we did basically an electronic scavenger hunt where we planted 12 copies of Creative Suite 5 around the world in a bar in Cologne, Germany, in a taco joint in Texas. And we told people to go. We gave them a series of clues. We told them to go to these locations. And once they got there, there was a little tracking code they could type in, and they received a certificate to get 12 copies. So this isn't rocket science, but why we do it is we want to understand how impactful this stuff is. Should we be doing this stuff moving forward? And that's kind of a big part of our strategy, which is essentially tracking. So people are doing a lot of social now, but I think that we could be doing a lot more tracking of that social behavior. And at Adobe, we're totally quantitatively oriented. And basically, that's the way I get money from my CEO. If I can demonstrate that something works, I might get a little money for it. So we did a project as part of the CS5 launch where we embedded tracking codes in each of our social media activities. So if you tweet, and you're from Adobe, you'd put a code in. Our Facebook postings had codes. Our blogs had codes. And so we were therefore able to directly attribute our social media activities back to key marketing results. For instance, 18,000 of the registrations, I mentioned there were 200,000 or so pre-registrations for our event, 18,000 of those were directly attributed to some blog, tweet, etc. Pre-orders and even trials and purchases were tracked directly back to social media. So these kind of dashboards, are you guys doing a lot of dashboarding at your companies? I can tell you this is like the greatest thing in the world. Every day you can go to this and basically check out what's working, what's not working, and it's really helped inform how we market going forward. In terms of our website, we get a ton of traffic on adobe.com, and we purchased Omniture, which is an analytics and marketing optimization company, last October. And the only people who were more excited than the M&A folks who acquired the company were the marketing folks who were like, yay, free tools. And so in addition to analytics, which have been embedded in our web pages for quite some time, we got access to something called Test and Target. And this thing is terrific. If you're not using it, I would highly recommend it. It basically enables you to do behavioral targeting on your site, whether it's editorial that you just want to tweak to see what's most relevant based on behavior that people are exhibiting on your site, or actual merchandising. You can serve up different offers, and it'll essentially serve up the most compelling offer to your target. And what we have found is, for instance, on the editorial side, we like to have very streamlined pages, and our pages tend to be, or try to be, very succinct. But with Photoshop users, they don't like that because they're designers and photographers. They like extremely rich, designy looking pages. That's what we learned with Test and Target. On the revenue side, because we do a lot of different offers, we actually increased our revenue per visitor by 5%, which is a lot in terms of our business. And so those types of technologies are really enabling us to make a big impact. So in the end, we are able to basically measure, I would say, almost everything I could hope for. So this is another dashboard, and we actually have a group at Adobe called the Media Optimization Group that works hard to put together these dashboards that basically are like, again, nirvana for marketers. This includes everything from all the web traffic to web traffic per product to trial downloads per product to conversion of those trial downloads. So everything you could possibly want. And again, you might look at one product and say, hey, this one isn't pulling too well, we need to do more merchandising. Or this one is pulling really well, maybe we need to tone it down a little bit and give this other product more merchandising. So again, this is like the new tool, I think, for the new marketing. So in terms of results, you have seen, I would say, incredible uptake in terms of more traffic. We have 12% more traffic than we did over the last version. We have 25% more pre-orders. We have 57% more product trials. These are all very important numbers to us because obviously that's what drives ultimate revenue, and we're trying to drive a lot more revenue on our website. In addition, we've been spending a lot of time optimizing the digital communications that we do to actually get people to come to our website. So a lot of effort is spent on email. A lot of effort is spent on display and extracting maximum ROI from those, as well as search, of course. So I would say in sum, this stuff really works. And you know, we as marketers, I think, used to be a little bit of a soft science. It was really hard for us to be able to go in to our CEOs and justify and substantiate the dollars that we were spending. Today, not only can we engage customers in a way that has never before been possible, but we can measure that level of engagement. We can continue to iterate and optimize, and the results of that are pretty much astounding. Brand value increases, clearly revenue increases, and I would just encourage all of you to continue to experiment, to continue to optimize, and I think marketing as a science is finally here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anne. Thank you so much. Really great of you to come. Thank you so much.